Welcome to the Online Success Journey Podcast, your opportunity to discover and learn from entrepreneurs like yourself. This is not your typical podcast, but a place where you can get the real story and find out how real people encounter speed bumps and detours, but journey through to find success. Now here's your host for the Online Success Journey Podcast, Patience.
Hello everyone and welcome to Online Success Journey. This is episode 229. Are you ready to join the clan? Today we have Jason Wright, a podcaster and the founder of Intentionally Inspirational, a digital agency that offers sales, funnel strategy, design, and management. Hello, Jason.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm fine. I know the clan is anxious to hear your story, so let's get started with the basics. Can you tell my clan a bit about your background, about what you did before you started your online business?
Yeah, sure. So my background story is a little interesting. Actually quit corporate America twice before I've ended up where I'm at now. Once upon a time, I was working at a company, and I just decided, you know what? I see the people running this company. I've always wanted to do more than what anybody will let me do. So I want to work for myself. I want to make money online. And the first time I did that, I was just chasing the money, right? So I found an opportunity, convinced my wife that it was the right move, basically starting these neighborhood magazines. There's good money in them, supposedly. And no passion in it or anything like that. It was just about the numbers. So I figured, I've got a couple months saved up. I'm going to jump ship. And I'm going to rebuild my income in just a few months, and everything will be fine. Well, long story short, it didn't work out that way. Went through all my savings, got into a horrible financial position, had to beg family members to buy us food and help us pay bills. It was a really bad time. Everybody hated me. Everybody was mad at me. And I figured out that I knew I was still going to work for myself. I just didn't know. I just couldn't figure out what I was going to do. Like, so many people get stuck there. What do I do? What do I sell? What do I offer? And when I eventually figured it out, Intentionally Inspirational was a name that I knew was going to be very important. Wasn't quite sure what it meant, but started with kind of creating motivational content for people, which people resonated with, but there was no money in it. And I was like, what's the business model here? So I learned online marketing for myself to get my content out there better. And then I started seeing very clearly there was a lot of people that wanted help with the same programs and the same things that I was doing. And I eventually pivoted into where the money was at for me, and that was with the digital marketing stuff. Fast forward to now, and I've pivoted, 4 or 5 times, and very platform specific now. I work with ClickFunnels, ActiveCampaign, and Facebook ads, and I help people with the online sales funnel. So that's kind of the fast version of where I started to where I am now. And it's funny, when I worked in corporate America, I had no background in marketing whatsoever. I was in sales, I was in human resources, and I was in safety. So a little bit different.
Wow. Interesting journey you have, Jason.
Oh, yeah.
What is the most dangerous belief an online entrepreneur can have?
Yeah, great question. I think the most dangerous belief is you expect overnight success. It's a horrible thing to latch onto. Here's what I figured out. The timeline of when you go from deciding you want to do something to when you can actually support yourself full time, timeline's unknown. So like when I failed the first time, I said it was going to be 3 months. Why 3 months? I have no idea. I just made up a number. But you don't know how long it's going to take. Most really successful people that you might listen to and follow, if you really learn their backstory, it probably didn't happen nearly as quickly as you think. It may have taken 10 years, 15 years. There's some people that it doesn't take much time, but that's not most people. So you've got to be patient. You've got to be, really enjoying what you're doing, because you have no idea how long it's going to take for that to happen. So not being patient is a very dangerous thing to do.
Why do you do what you do now, Jason?
Well, every company, from what I've seen, I focus on the entrepreneur, usually from 100,000 in revenue up to a couple million. That's kind of my ideal avatar. I really enjoy what I do, and I'm really good at it. And I know that when people get to that, kind of the top of where they're at and they get stuck, it's generally because of one of 3 things. It's because of their marketing, their mindset, or their motivation. those happen to be three areas that are kind of intertwined with the brand that I've built that I'm very, very good at. We're very good at offering solutions to. So it's kind of that crossroads of talent and opportunity, I suppose.
Let's put man aside. How do you know you are successful?
You know you're successful when you see businesses change that you work for, when you see repeat and referral business come in nonstop. When you have other people recruiting for you, those are all good signs that you're doing something that's resonating with people, that's impacting people.
Can anyone be an entrepreneur, or are some people more cut out for it than others?
Oh yeah, it's a popular buzzword these days and has been for a while. And what I tell people all the time is it's not an occupation, it's a lifestyle. So if an entrepreneur is actually your lifestyle, it's not a Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 gig. As I told you before we recorded today, I just got going for the day around 11 o'clock this morning, which sounds like I sleep all day, but what people don't realize is I was up at 5:30 to 6:30. I was up again between that, getting kids to school, and I was up till 2 a.m. last night working as well. So the hours shift based on what you like to work and what you need to do. So it's entrepreneurship is kind of like the step above corporate America, in my opinion. It's the major leagues because it's not for the weak. It's rewarding, but it's hardcore as well. Like, for example, when I jump off this call today, I've got a fire in my business I need to put out for a client that's fairly serious. And guess what? It's all my fault. It's all on me because I own the company. So there's the side of it that a lot of people don't want to deal with. But if you want the freedom of time and you want to be able to earn whatever you're able to earn, you've got to take those responsibilities as well.
Wow. But Jason, you see many people who says, yes, I just work 1 hour a day, 1 hour a week, and everything is nice. So what is your advice to someone who wants to go online and join those people?
Yeah. So the first thing I would say is you can't believe everything you hear or see online. So a lot of people fake it till they make it. Okay. There's a lot of people that lie about it, but there are businesses out there, if you reach a very high level with affiliate marketing and things like that, where those things are possible. But I bet everybody listening, doesn't know more than one or two people that actually do that, and they actually know they do that. It's not common. It's possible. It's not common. But even people who set that stuff up with affiliate marketing, there's a period of work that happens before that point. So with any great reward, there's going to be work. If people don't want to work and they just want to work an hour a day or an hour a week, it's probably, in my opinion, it's probably not going to work out for you. It's not real. It's not really that realistic, in my opinion.
So the online world is not for everyone.
No, I mean, the people who it's not for are the people who aren't willing to work. And if you're not willing to work and you're not willing to be consistent, it's not going to work out well for you. I see this all the time where people will try something for a few weeks and then give up because it's quote unquote not working. It's not enough time. If you want to work out and train to be a bodybuilder, how much time do you think you have to put in before you are in good enough shape to even compete? I don't know, years maybe? It's the same thing with building a really strong brand or strong business. It takes consistent work to get good results. So this idea of I don't want to do anything and I want to make all this money doesn't work out for most people because that's not how it actually happens.
Mm-hmm. You run this digital marketing business. Now you are into podcasting. Why did you move into podcasting?
So I've been doing podcasting for several years. So podcasting is just one of our content strategies. Podcasting is great because it's an element of social proof. It's very powerful. It lets people hear you kind of, back in the shadows where you can't see them or hear them. And they get to draw their own conclusions. Is this person credible? Do I believe what they're saying? Does this person sound like they know what they're talking about? Not only that, but you get the opportunity, as you know, to connect and build your own network as well. So podcasting's awesome. Podcasting is a piece of our content strategy, but by no means my business model, if that makes sense.
Where do you see the future for podcasting?
I just see it to continue growing. There's people launching podcasts all the time. And it's funny because I heard that most podcasts don't make it past episode 7. Any guesses as to why that is?
No, please let us know.
Yeah, they give up. They give up. Yeah. So you've put out a ton. So you're in a very small group. You're probably in a 1%. I'm at like 183, so you're ahead of me a good ways. But I've been doing it for years, and as you know, it's a lot of fun and it's rewarding. But yeah, it's only going to grow because a lot of shows come and a lot of shows go, and people are always looking for more content to listen to, whether it's driving or working out or whatever they're doing. So I see podcasting, just like radio, remaining relevant for the foreseeable future.
What have you learned from business as a whole?
Business as a whole is a lot like life. You get out of it what you put into it. So I'm a believer if you do things right and you do right by people and you're consistent, and when there are fires, you put them out and you take blame when you need to, and you just do things correctly, there's rewards at the end of that. It's all about building relationships. You don't, at least the way I do it, I have a service business. We sell some products as well, but I want a customer for life. I want the lifetime customer, and talking about it's not enough. You actually have to make the effort and set up the system in order to do that. And that means taking care of them and going above and beyond. So, like I say, business like life, it's all about relationships, and it's, it's super, super powerful. And the people that do well in business and in life, look at the relationships. You're going to see a consistency factor there. And the people that seem to fail at everything they do, a piece of that equation is going to be the inability to connect with people or keep people around them, or something about people as well. And I even saw that back in HR, human resources, when I was working for other companies. The best companies I worked with had great people working in them and could retain them and attract them. The companies that were really awful, it was the opposite experience.
Okay. Do you have coaches or mentors in your business?
I do not. So I'm kind of a weirdo in that regard. I coach and mentor other people, but I don't directly work with anybody for myself. There is people much more successful than me whose content I follow, whose content I consume, that type of thing. So somebody I spoke to recently said that is your coaching, that is your mentorship that you get. You just don't actually talk to the person in real time. So I don't consume a lot of other people's content. I don't see what a lot of other people are doing. I'm kind of focused on what I'm doing, which is interesting. But yeah, there's definitely some people I look up to.
What is the most valuable thing you have got from those people you look up to?
Most valuable thing is probably a lot of what we're talking about here. It's it's a journey. It's about consistency. It's funny. It's the simplest things in the world that anybody can do, and they get you to where you want to go. I mean, obviously you have to be good at it, but like anything, the more you do something, the better you get. But just being consistent, just keeping your head down, focusing on what makes you money, especially in business, is super important. First 18 months I had this business, I made very, very little money. And sometimes I would pay my team and I wouldn't even be able to pay myself. And I was like, God, why am I not making any progress? Like, why am I in the same place I was 18 months ago? And I was like, I've got to focus on what makes me money and figure out how to do that again and again and make that process as effective as I can. So when I started to do that, things really changed for me, and I went from part-time to full-time, and keep doing better every year. So very important.
What is one thing no one knows about you?
I don't know that I have any secrets, really. I'm a pretty open book, pretty transparent. I'm not scared to fail. I don't think that's probably a surprise. I don't feel like I have any deep, dark secrets that people don't know.
What grounds you?
Failure, rejection, all those things that most people shy away from. Keeps me in the here and now, reminds me I'm human, reminds me that you're always growing. I think even when people are really successful, everybody fails. Everybody has challenges. I don't think they ever go away. I think they change, but I'm human. I make mistakes like everybody else. So I would say all of that stuff reminds me of that on a daily basis.
How do you see digital marketing going in the future?
It's not going away. It'll be in high demand for the rest of our lifetime easily. Marketing is what attracts potential clients to a business, and then the sale happens, and then the money's exchanged. So the marketing piece is never going to go away. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. You can do the direct response stuff. You can do brand awareness. which is like content marketing, blogs and podcasts. You can do both. There's a lot of different angles. Marketing's really cool and really neat for businesses because you can control who you attract. You can, if you don't want to be seen as a pushy, salesy company, you don't have to be. There's a lot of creative freedom that's allowed with it. So marketing is something that even expands out of business and into life, just the type of people you attract for friends and stuff like that. It's never going anywhere. The digital space is only going to become stronger.
Give us 3 tip tops for someone who's starting and want to go to digital marketing.
Yeah, 3 tips. So it's funny. Digital marketing is competitive, but all that should tell you, it shouldn't scare you. It should tell you that there's a lot of opportunity. Okay. I had a guy once tell me I had no chance of being successful in digital marketing because too many people did it. I've never felt the effects of competition, not one time. So don't let that deter you at all. So tip number 1 is if you want to do it. There's a ton of money to be made, enough to go around for everybody. Tip number 2, and this is going to be very different than what other people will say. Everybody talks about niching down by industry. I reject that feeling or that thought, and I say niche down by platform. So if you want to do digital marketing, you may have heard me say at the beginning of the show, I focus on ClickFunnels, active campaign, and Facebook ads. I found that by niching down by platform, I can position myself as an absolute expert in this space for these specific platforms. And then if I work with them in one, I know they lead to the other. So it's an interesting take, but it works really, really well. So it's something to think about. And it doesn't matter if you do sales funnels, SEO, web design, copywriting, all that stuff kind of filters into the same world. It's something to think about. So if you do some of that stuff and you want to work in specific platforms, a lot of people don't position themselves that way, so it can give you an edge. And number 3, this is probably the most important of all to get going, is focus on your social proof. Now, when people say social proof, they think about testimonials, which are important, but it's not everything. So the other things that we've talked about a little bit for social proof, podcast, do Facebook Lives, put yourself out there so people can check you out from a place of comfort in their own home or wherever they are and decide, do I believe the reviews? Do I believe this person can help me? Do I believe they're able to do what they say they're going to do? Notice I didn't say, do I like them? You always hear about know, like, and trust. I don't know that the like part's that important. I think it's more about, do I know who they are and do I trust them? So if you focus on social proof, you make sure all of your social channels are consistent, you make sure you're getting reviews, video if possible, and you make sure you're putting yourself out there consistently, eventually what'll happen is people will come to you and you'll never need to spend $1 on marketing again. Okay. It's attraction based, it's referral based, and it's repeat marketing or repeat business based. And it's the most powerful force in the world. So those would be my 3 tips for you.
Wow. And you have to make sure you be patient, as you told us. You have to be patient to see anything working. Wow.
Yep.
How did you go with 18 months not being paid for yourself? And what was your family saying? I want to know that a little bit.
Yeah, I wasn't popular. So, but I knew that my personality is such that I am born to do this. I said I'm not going to stop no matter what. Like if we end up homeless, we're going to end up homeless. Like I'm not stopping. And it's not me saying it because it sounds cool. Like that's literally the stance I took. So I knew that when I talked, people listened. I knew I could impact people, but I couldn't put my finger on exactly how. For a long time, I tried to create something new, but I realized I don't need to create anything new. I just have to put my touch on it, and that's what I've done. So a year ago this week, this is kind of interesting, we had no new business leads or inquiries of any kind for 3 weeks through the holidays last year. And this week, a year ago, is when I finally started to see some light again, where I was getting, people reaching out to me about work and that type of thing. And my wife was still like, if this doesn't pick up, you're going back to corporate America. And I'm like, no, I'm not. But it was not a good place. There was a lot of tension there. But this year, it never slowed down. So it's been absolutely overwhelming. As far as new business, it doesn't ever shut off. It's never going to end. I mean, it's absolutely insane. So be patient. If you can start with a side hustle, do that. There's no reason to risk more than you're willing to lose. Don't do what I did the first time. It's completely unnecessary.
Thank you for sharing. Let's talk about your intentional, inspirational. Tell us more about it.
So what we are is, we're a brand for entrepreneurs. And like I said, our content is strongly focused on motivation and mindset and marketing as well. But the services part of the business that we offer, so we do done-for-you work, helping clients who want funnels built, helping clients who want strategy, that type of stuff. And then we have a newer side of the business called Funnel Building for Profit. It's the same information, but we're teaching people how to do it themselves, or teaching people who want to do exactly what I do. So we have a Facebook group by that name, but it's really the same business. It's just a different side of it. So that's what I'm excited about. I really want to teach. I really want to give back. I want to see people, if they want to get out of working for somebody, I want to see people do that. And I'm trying to save them time and money and frustration by teaching them some of the things that I've learned along the way.
So who can join your program then?
Which program are we talking about? There's the
one you are teaching and the helping.
Yeah, so Funnel Building for Profit is a free Facebook group. Anybody can join that. And then obviously there's all kinds of good content in there, but I do have a program called the Intentional Startup, and it's brand new. There's just a couple people enrolled now, but it's just working with people in kind of a light support role to get them off the ground and to look at some of their stuff, and me just say, hey, don't do that, do this, and just giving them guidance and mentorship in this space to help them get off the ground. So that's really available for anybody who's really trying to make something happen. I know there's a lot of them out there. So
is that is it subscription? Is it a one fee?
Yeah, so the Intentional Startup, it's fairly affordable. It's $97 a month. And I don't even have everything in front of me, but it basically includes support from me personally through Messenger. We bounce ideas off each other, that type of thing. And we're not jumping on calls and stuff all the time because that's more into coaching, but I'm going to save you a ton of time and tell you very specifically, like, hey, your offer's the problem, or hey, your ads, like, don't do these ads, or hey, you're going after this, but there's an easier way for you to make money by doing this. So it's really helpful, pointed guidance, like I said, to get people's businesses off the ground. And it's going to be applicable whether it's products, services, information products, or a combination of all of them.
Where do we find this, and how can we connect with you?
Yep. So intentionallyinspirational.com. It's kind of the front porch for everything. Everything we've talked about is accessible there. Or if you're on Facebook and you want to check out the free group, it's Funnel Building for Profit. And love to see you and your listeners there and interact with you for sure.
So, Clara, there will be more from Jason in a moment. If you are listening on one of the many podcasting platforms rather than my website and you're encouraged by Jason's journey, go to onlinesuccessjourney.com for a bonus portion of the interview. The Online Success Journey is a wonderful membership community built for people searching for the path to success. We are one big clan and can be part of this community for free. Once you have joined the clan, click on part of Jason's journey or over 200 other journeys that are available and learn how you can find the right path for your own online success journey. That's a wrap, clan. Remember, success is a journey. Patience and Jason.
This is not the end of the journey. We hope you've enjoyed listening to part 1 and want to be sure you know there is a second part to this and every journey podcast at onlinesuccessjourney.com, filled with even more success tips, uplifting stories, and even a bit of fun. There are dozens of episodes only available to the members of the Online Success Journey clan. Check out the website and click on Join the Clan for more information. Patience would like to thank you for listening to this podcast, and she has a free audio gift for you at her website. Go to onlinesuccessjourney.com for instant access to this gift. Of course, you know that listening to the journeys of others helps each of us chart our own path. So make sure you're subscribed to be notified as each new interview is posted. There are so many ways to stay connected to the Online Success Journey and to listen in. And if you're enjoying the podcast, we appreciate your help in telling others. One of the best ways to share the benefit you get is to rate and review it at Stitcher and other sites by clicking the stars or completing the ratings form, by clicking thumbs up and leaving a comment on YouTube, or liking and sharing the podcast on social media. To review the podcast within iTunes, Simply open iTunes to the podcast, click on Ratings and Reviews, then write a review. On behalf of Patience, and until next time, thanks once more for listening. It is our hope that this podcast will guide you on your own online success journey.